God has a plan. Not only do he has a plan, he has a way to escape. Yeah, and look at somebody and tell them it ain't over yet. Yeah. The enemy wants us to believe that he is superior to God, even though he has already been defeated. He has already been, his kingdom has already been destroyed. His power is limited, and he has to get permission from God before he even approach you. So touch somebody, tell him it's something about me that God is concerned about my welfare. Yeah. As I was looking at Daniel, and the subject today is don't let it change you. Yeah, touch somebody next to you, just push him a little bit and say, don't let it change you. Yeah, and as I was sitting there looking, we was living in a world, and I'm just going to kind of paraphrase this, and we're living in a world that everything is about change. If you're looking at it, the currency already, they're talking about changing the currency, the money status. They're changing the laws, and they're changing the prices. Everything is about change. Technology has changed, and even the way they're building cars have changed. Now they're trying to take us into a new area. The world system is governed by the enemy, and now the enemy is trying to produce change. Watch this. Even in the schoolhouses, change is happening. Watch this. Look at somebody and tell them, watch out for the pressure. Watch out. Yeah. Watch out for the pressure. Because the enemy is trying to apply pressure to get you to change. He wants you out of your character. He wants you to act different. He wants you not to portray who you was created to be, but he wants you to act like somebody else. Even in the musical world, Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're changing things, and Lil Wayne, and they're all trying to convince people to move into this movement. You got friends that are pressuring friends, even in the schoolhouse, to try to convince them. They're wearing their clothes different. They're talking different, picking up a new language different, trying to do a new fad different. Nothing is wrong with change, but it's what kind of change that happens. Yeah, what kind of change that happens. And I was looking at Daniel, and the Lord brought to my heart how that even in this spiritual aspect, the enemy is trying to wear us down to where we feel that to fit in, we got to change. To get somebody to like you, you got to change to their persona. To get somebody to hang out with you, then you got to act like they are and become what they want you to become, to be changed. As I was looking at Daniel, the Bible said they was taken into captivity, and while they was in captivity, it said that the king Nebuchadnezzar ordered change. In other words, he told the people while they was bound to change their name. Look at somebody and tell them, I'm glad that my character does not rely on my name. Oh, yeah. Because if it was about a name, then because I even understand you got people that get married and they're determined to hold on to their last name from their previous marriage. So they're trying to say, my wife has nothing wrong. I think she holds on to her last name, Mary S. Johnson Williams. Nothing wrong with it. But see, you got to understand that sometimes people are trying to hold on to something that they don't need to hold on to. And watch this. Even though it's not important, but sometimes we're trying to get the best of both worlds at the same time. Look at somebody and tell them, if you try to serve two gods, just tell them it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. Somewhere along the line, one God is going to be liking something in your life. So the enemy gets you to understand, if I can get you to consider hanging out with certain peoples and and dealing with certain churches and dealing with certain pastors, I can convince you to change, even persuade somebody. I heard the writer say, I am convinced, I am persuaded that neither this life nor death nor anything to come will persuade me to change what I am. Look at somebody and tell them, hold on where you are. Yeah, because where you are is a good place right about now. And while they was in prison, the man's name was changed. And one thing I saw about that because Meshach and Shadrach and Abednego religion or faith, not religion, but faith was not in their name. So now watch this. You got to learn that it's not about the name that makes a difference, but it's about whose name you worship. And he told them to change their name. Matter of fact, he not only changed their name, he moved them to another city in order to break their perspective of who they're serving. I was looking at a movie today, and early this morning it says, not easy broken. Turn somebody and tell them, you got to get to the place, that you are not easily broken. You got to get to a place where you're not so easily persuaded and convinced, because a person that is easily persuaded is a person that is not sure of their status. And when you're not sure of your status, that means the enemy can come in and invite you to something else. He even tried to persuade Jesus to change his character when he took him to the mount of the top of the temple and told him, all this will I give you. Yeah. See, a lot of people can change a lot of things if what you offer them is greater than what they are. But you got some people that have made up their mind that I ain't going to be easily broken. You got some people that are persuaded that neither height nor depth will convince me to go another way. Turn somebody and tell them this is the time not to allow the enemy to break you. I know what you're facing might be difficult, but you got to remember that you got to make choices under pressure. See, the enemy want to pressure you to change. He want to show you things that you desire in order to convince you that it's better on the other side. I was looking at Daniel, and Daniel then was taken into captivity, and their name was changed. But what made me rejoice about them, that even though their name was taken away, they had the character. See, that's what you got to understand. You got to remain and keep the character that was created in you from the beginning of time. It matters not if they'll change your name. But when I saw their name was changed, it let me know that God is in control of everything that happens in your life. And what looks like it should destroy you, it's going to position you in another place to be used about God. Now I understand when the Bible tells us even the bad things that happen, God is in control. Even the thing that look like it shouldn't be, God is in control. See, you got to learn that when there is a burst against you, because the enemy said he come to steal, kill, and destroy. If he can't steal it from you, then he'll kill you. But look at somebody and tell them, my mind is made up. That regardless of what it looks like or where I am, I'm persuaded that God is greater than my test. He's greater than my trial. So Daniel was laying in the bed, and watch this. The Bible says that your gift will always make room for you. Now watch this. Even though he was in prison, his gift made room for him. Watch this. He got to get our free card because of his gift. One thing you got to understand, when you make up your mind not to change, your gift is going to alter your situation. When you learn how to stay in character, look at somebody, because the enemy is out to push buttons. He's trying to get you to act like you used to act, but not act like you're supposed to act. He's trying to get you to walk out of character, because character means that you have a relationship from when you was created that you got to act like. It doesn't matter. I don't know how many of you have been in places where people look like they just pushed you to get you out of place. I don't know how many people you deal with that look like they just wanted you to get out of place so they can accuse you that you ain't who you say you are. Touch somebody and tell them, hold on, honey. Yeah, tell them, don't let them change you. Yeah, they might have enough to buff you, but don't let them change you. While they was in there and thrown in prison, Daniel held his integrity. He made up in his mind that I'm not going to try to push myself. My gift is going to make provision for me out of where I am. And see, one thing about him, he was a prophet from the beginning. So when they took him captive, because of how he looked. Now watch this. Provision. If you really want a hookup, touch somebody, look at your best friend, look at your BFF, and tell them, I know you can hook me up on something, but if you really want a real hookup will hook you up before you get in a situation in order to need a hookup. Touch somebody and tell them, a real hookup will plan ahead of your time and connect you with everything you need to be connected with to come out of what you're in before you get in what you gotta come out of. Oh, y'all ain't got it. Let somebody tell them a real hookup. A real hookup just, watch this, a simple hookup just lasts for a season. But a real hookup lasts beyond the season. So Daniel already know that he had connection. So when he was hooked up, when he was taken in prison, and the enemy locked him up, he thought he locked him up, because God really allowed him to be where he was, because there was a purpose for him to be there for a certain amount of time. And watch this. Now, what I learned is that when his name was changed, and watch this, even they offered him food. Touch somebody and tell them, you got to watch what you eat. Even in the natural and in the spiritual. Because now Daniel said, Meshach and Shadrach said, you know what? The food you want to give us is food that has been offered to idols. And see, they kept the standard. Touch somebody and tell them, hold your standard. Even when you need to eat, tell them, hold your standard. Because watch this. The devil tries you at your weakest state. See, he doesn't mess with you when you're strong, but it's when you're weak. But I heard a writer say, when I'm weak, then I become strong. When it looks like I should fail, that's the time God presents himself more in me. Because watch this, you present yourself strong when they think you're weak. When you ever see a weak person deny something, it is the indication that he has a hookup. Yeah. It means that he knows something that you don't know. That something is about to happen that you don't know. So he understands, I can't get out of character now. I can't be persuaded to give in now. Because if I hold my character and hold my faith and know that I'm not persuaded, sooner or later, something's going to break through for me. Just high five somebody and tell them, hold on, honey. You're on the right course to your deliverance. Something is about to happen. People are going to hate you because God is going to hook you up. People are going to dislike you because God is going to hook you up. They're going to be mad at you because they had to go through the process. But God took you around the process and he hooked you up. So you're going to have some player haters that's going to be mad at you because you didn't go to the best of college, but you got a job better than they did. Yeah, look at somebody and tell them, you didn't take nursing school, but somehow you got hooked up with somebody that was on the inside. Y'all ain't got this yet. Tell somebody I'm about to get hooked up with somebody on the inside that is about to breathe in. And I'm going to watch this. Tell them, hold on to your integrity. You might have to cry while you're waiting. You might have to sit down for a little bit while you're waiting and tell them, don't get jealous.